Okay, so you haven't seen any of this stuff before. We're going to pull it all out at once and show you one at a time. Okay.
Whoa.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Hey.
A lot of this stuff, none of this stuff Mike and Jose have seen yet. These are the non-comic book stuff that I picked up at the Fan Expo a few weeks ago, and they're seeing it for the first time. So I'm going to show you everything I picked up here, Jose.
Wow.
And,
an original lobby card from her big movie, Rosemary's Baby.
That's right. So this is the first thing I picked up. An original lobby card signed by Mia Farrow. I got to meet her at the show. Very nice lady. She personalized it to Paul. Yeah, so I'm very happy with this. The lobby card wasn't cheap. It was $50. So that's the first thing I bought. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we've got quite a few things I want to show you.
The one thing I would say from a collectability standpoint, it's nice because it makes it personal to Paul, but from a price standpoint, you do not really want stuff personalized because it makes it less collectible for some people.
Exactly.
But if you're buying it for yourself and price appreciation is not important to you, then what the heck? I would rather have something like that makes me feel good about the experience, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a memory. But like I said, if you're collecting for investment, try not to have them personalized.
Exactly, and for that reason, I also got this signed.
Oh, see now this is
Mia
like
Farrow.
nice. With a is that
Nice, clean signature.
is that like supposed to be a heart?
Heart, yeah.
Yeah, this is a nice reprint you picked up from the Poster Warehouse, right?
Exactly, a reprint of the original, Rosemary's Baby poster. Obviously, I couldn't afford a real one, and even if I did, my place ain't big enough to sign it, so this is ideal. I'm going to take it over to Retro Rare, get Gordy to mat it, frame it, and it's going to look really fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy. Nice signature though.
I was gonna say aesthetically,
signature.
it's nice having somebody sign in an aesthetically pleasing way and in a location that makes sense aesthetically overall to the thing. I mean, not to harp on some people, but I mean, with the recent passing of Stan the Man, I mean, the last few years, his signature was a little more than a scrawl.
Exactly.
I gotta be honest. And when you having that on something, all I'm saying, guys, is like when somebody signs it in a very kind of aesthetically nice way, it's even more important from a collectability standpoint. Because people are willing, if you're not, to live with that, if it's a nice signature and placed in a correct way for the image.
And the nice thing about Mia Farrow, I've never seen any actor do this before. When she came out to sign, we'd all been sitting there for about 20 minutes or so waiting. There was a line of about 50 people. She came around into the lineup and greeted every single person, shook every single person's hand, and thanked every single person for showing up. And I've never seen an actress do that before. Very old school. You don't get
from that
very classy
generation.
lady.
From that generation, I really appreciate it. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm thinking at the time. I think she was romantically involved with Frank Sinatra when this was
I
shot.
believe you might be correct.
Yeah, before they broke apart, and then she ended up with Woody.
Okay. So the next thing, and I know you're gonna like this.
Oh, and like it in a sense that I'm not gonna like it. Oh crap!
This is an original.
No. What did you get?
The Fog.
Oh, the Fog
Insert,
Carpenter. Yeah.
John Carpenter, one of his classic films.
With starring Adrienne Barbeau.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
So this, well, I'm going to photograph it closer so everybody can see it, but this is an original film insert. John Carpenter's Fog, 1980. This film was released. A very, I guess if you're a horror fan, you know this film, very collectible, and very happy to get this. This cost me, I think, 80. A pretty good price.
Canadian? When you do the math,
$80.
when let's factor in the current exchange rate, I mean, you're talking maybe 20 bucks less, something around 60 bucks US. For that kind of price, that's a pretty reasonable price, man. That's pretty good.
Very happy
Fair
with
market
that.
value, you scored on that one.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember the horrible remake? Why would they ever do that? But then again, you can say about a lot of remakes these days.
Okay.
Here comes
This
the big...
is the most expensive thing I picked up.
Here comes the pièce de résistance of the con. Oh no, another Carpenter?
It was a John Carpenter weekend,
Wow.
Yeah. And this is an original Christine movie poster. Oh, circa 1983. One of my favorite films that he's ever done. Perhaps my favorite film he's ever done. I am so stoked about owning this. And it's in perfect condition. set aside the folds, which obviously, as we mentioned before, all films made from 1985 and before, when the posters were sent to the movie theater, they came folded. They were folded at the factory.
Is that a small tear?
It's a small color break, but nothing that it can't be repaired once I send it to Backing to the Future, because I'm going to get this restored, linen back. I'm going to spare no expense on this movie poster.
You can't go wrong. I mean, like some people would say a minor classic by a major master.
Yeah.
I don't know the way you look at it. It's relative to your experience with the movie. A lot of people like the movie. It got some mixed reviews. I personally like it. I don't love it, but it's a really good poster image.
Yeah.
It's in good condition, and from a collectability standpoint, you can't go wrong with horror sci-fi as a genre, generally speaking. And when you're getting a movie with some notoriety and or fame by a big name, I mean, it's all cooked into the price or something like that. This will kind of earn you good returns year over year where you hold it like a good quality bond. This will only improve with age, the price that you're going to get returned, especially if you conserve it and linen back it and frame it nicely. You're going to be looking at multiples of your initial investment 5-10 years down the road.
Obviously, if you're a John Carpenter collector, the first one you're looking for is Halloween.
Of course.
But that's a fortune. Followed by The Thing. And this, for me, would be the third John Carpenter film. But a lot of people might argue that The Fog is the third one you want. What do you think?
You know, Carpenter, I mean, there's Halloween and there's everything else. It's hard to top a movie that basically started a subgenre within the genre. You know, the stalker killer with the point of view. I mean, you cannot understate, you know, the importance of a movie like that. Having said that, I mean, when I called it a minor masterpiece by a great master, I mean, I wasn't kind of giving it a backhanded compliment. It's a really good movie by a major name who made his name within that genre. So, from a collectability standpoint, I hit the harp it in again. You can't go wrong. I mean, you have the factors in place that will make that a really good collectible. At least price appreciation going forward.
Can I just add real quickly that me and Paul were car buffs at the time that movie came out?
That was the 58 Plymouth Fury, wasn't it?
56, I think. But
no, it's
anyway,
a 58.
The final thing we got here to see, and this is going to drive you nuts because this was a last-minute pickup, and I went to. By the way, everything here was picked up at a store called Hollywood Cantina, which had a display at the Fan Expo, and he's got some really fantastic vintage posters. And when I saw this, it was right back to the banking machine to get out some more cash, and you're gonna go crazy when you see this. This is an Australian film insert.
Oh no, you didn't! Oh,
look at Ornella.
So cool!
Oh man!
You magnificent bastard, you!
Okay, hold that side so the camera can see it there. How are we looking there? Now,
looking good.
As we've mentioned many times before, we're all big fans of this movie from 1980. Not for everybody. This is an Australian day bill. And as you can see, it's got the GA stamp, which is general admission in Australia, so you know, and it's got the pinhole, so you know. This was hanging in an actual theater in Australia back in 1980 when this film hit the theaters.
Man, holding it here, man, the paper quality of the, like, very thin stock,
thin stock,
very thin stock, man. You can see there's somewhere natural, honest wear where you see this was pinned up several times on the corners.
But generally speaking, it's not in bad condition.
I mean, you're looking for basically major blemishing in this kind of central image area, and it's damn clean from that standpoint. And it's got some good girl sex appeal. I mean, you cannot go wrong investment-wise. This is a great pickup. How much did you have to pay for this?
This was I think I paid $80 for this one.
I would have paid $100 for this easily.
I'm very happy. That's the exact same format as, if you remember, the Aliens Australian day bill I picked up a few years ago. I had Gordy frame it after it lined back. I'm going to get the same thing done to this one. Wow, and Ornella, wow, amazing.
Ornella,
possibly one of the most beautiful women to ever live. And definitely the most beautiful woman of the 1980s.
Sex appeal on camera, my God. 11 out of 10 on the Richter scale on that woman. Wow. Wow.
And of course, Sam Jones will be at the Hamilton Comic Con.
Oh, you're gonna bring this to get it signed?
The other one, I think. But anyways, that's it. We've spent way too much time here. Anyway, so that's the movie memorabilia, the memory posters, the movie posters I picked up. all original stuff, no print reprints here, except for the Rosemary's Baby mini poster. That
Which
was
would be many hundreds, if not more.
like
for that.
1,000 if I wanted original.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what I picked up.
Very good haul.
Very good haul this year, and more money I wanted to spend. But hell, it only happens once a year. You can only live once. Can't take it with you, so why not, eh?
I'm taking this with me. Are you kidding me? It's coming home with me.
Okay, so that's enough of that. We got some great books to show tonight, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yes, we
As
do.
always.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to go over there, we're going to get set up, and we'll be back, and yeah, you're going to like what we got tonight.
Nice.
Okay, as usual, what we're going to do with this episode is we're going to start with a new comic book segment, and Jose, these are, are you showing 5 books here?
Yeah, these are kind of like the cream of the crop. These are all July 2019 releases, so by the time this thing is up, from a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are just 5 of my favorite recent pickups, picked up from Retro Rare, Uncle
Cool.
Sandy. So we'll start off with the first one here. It's Wonder Woman issue number 75. This is the Jenny Friesen variant. Now, personally, I love these portrait style variants coming out for the DC Villains program. The cardstock paper quality makes these covers stand out even more, in my opinion. Now, it seems like every month I could include Friesen's Wonder Woman work, but this one piques my interest even more, as Cheetah, of course, will be the main villain in the upcoming Wonder Woman 1984 movie.
Nice. What do you got next, Mike?
Sweet.
Okay, next up, yes, Justice League Dark issue number 13. This is the Dan Quintana variant. Now, come for the story, stay for this kick-ass cover by Dan Quintana. Of course, I should also mention here that James Tynion IV is just crushing it with this story as well. Lots of nice things said about this one. I say, enough said, instant pickup for me and Polly on this one.
For sure,
I didn't
yeah.
even see this in the store,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Anyway, next.
Yeah, Catwoman, issue number 13.
We all picked this one up.
This is the Artgerm variant, of course. And now I'm really excited by these DC villain portrait variants. I like this one the best. I think we've been seeing some Artgerm fatigue in the hobby, but Lau just seems to have hit his stride here, as the next Catwoman releases are just stunning like this one.
Absolutely.
Okay, in the fourth
What do
book,
you got?
this is the only Marvel entry into
Nice.
my 5 books. This is Arrow number 1, the Artgerm variant. Again, Artgerm makes his presence in the top 5. Coming straight out of the New Agents of Atlas, Arrow gets her own self-titled book, and Artgerm, of course, is a popular artist. Those two factors make a winning combination that makes this book worth picking up for the $4 cover price.
Oh, for sure.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no brainer there. And the last one is
Nice.
Deceased issue number 3. This is the Matina variant. Now, these variants don't seem to be moving the secondary market needle that much right now, but they are still gorgeous covers. I think these ones will be sought after by set completionists down the road. So
Absolutely.
good
for
pickup
sure.
in that
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Great job.
Fantastic, Jose. Those are fantastic covers. I mean, and again, as we said before, a lot of time for the new books we're collecting based just on the artwork on the front cover, and it's a good way to go. Yeah.
It's a covers world out there.
Fantastic.
And we're
Thanks
not-
for sharing.
And we're paying regular price.
Okay, so next up we got Big Mike, Eagle-Eyed Oog, and he's got are these acquisitions from the Fan Expo or from Toronto Comic Book Show?
I believe these are Toronto comic book shows. These were last minute buys, just kind of
Yeah.
like almost out of money. And I turned around and saw a different vendor, and oh, cool, nice
Cool,
cover.
cool.
Grabbed it.
Both adventures, very nice covers.
So
Very,
these are spontaneous kind of like...
Kind of spontaneous buys, last minute. I had spent my last $10 at our favorite guys, but this was an unknown dealer in the corner. Had a couple nice books, and I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'll spring on those. Why not?
starting with this one, I mean, it looks like it's an early Bronze Age book. I like the appeal.
Adventure Comics, number 394, June 70th. So you're right there.
Yeah, I mean, Women's
give it a-
Prison.
Yeah, Women's Prison, and I haven't bought a Supergirl book in a while. I was kind of like sharking up on them for a while, and it stopped, and it's like, hey, I haven't bought a Supergirl
yeah.
cover in a while, so I picked one up. I give it about a 6.5. Paid about $7.50 with $10 Canadian. That's my conversion, which is not accurate, but
Yeah,
close
yeah.
enough. Kurt Swan cover, Murphy Anderson as well. 8 single appearances. probably one and done. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Nothing key or anything like that. Just cover appeal.
Hey, listen, you got a run book, but it's a 15-cent cover, and it's a high grade. At least it looks like a high grade to me, and you paid $10 for it. So the book, probably at least conservatively worth twice that, I would say.
I love the caption on it. Heartbreak
think-
prison.
Yeah.
Every
Three times.
girl's a lifer.
Three bagger. If you have
Okay,
that-
what do you got underneath there?
You get
Yeah.
more for that. No, absolutely.
Now we go back
Nice.
a little older. This one's a little bit of a bondage cover here.
Oh,
Number
okay.
370. Here we go. A little higher grade too. This is about a 7. I give it a fine to very fine.
I'd agree with that looking at the cover, man.
I
This is
paid
a
a little
solid
more
book.
for this, about $18.75.
Mm-hmm.
Sold for on eBay right now about $46.75. Kurt Swan, Jack Abel, who's a name I haven't heard a lot of. Nevertheless, I mean, it's a bondage cover. Not only is he wrapped up, these
Oh.
girls are poor girls are all chained together.
Yeah.
And these judges here are obviously it's the Kangaroos.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, led by
You know,
Mordred.
I mean,
And
I just thought it was fantastic. So
Yeah.
I just said, you know what? I got a $20
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
pocket. I'm gonna take that for sure to get some change back. Why not?
yeah, very cool cover. Superboy there, Monel, and Headstock there. And I think you got Dual Damsel there. You got Shadow Lass, and I'm not sure if that's Queen Bee. But yeah, terrific bondage cover, Bronze Age, and good
And
Nick,
again,
man.
yes, it is a Legion book as
Mhm.
well.
It's a
of
Legion
course.
book,
So
you
you
know
have
I'm gonna
the
have interest
Legion
in this.
books,
Yeah, yeah,
baby.
Okay, first book up that you've shown that I've actually I take a whoop swipe on that one.
Goons outside. Sorry.
Fantastic books, Mike. Thanks for bringing them in. Great acquisitions. Okay, next up we got Jose. Are you showing 3 books here?
No, we're doing one at a time, but 3 of my 4 books, the vintage books I picked up at Toronto Comic Book Show, are Amazing Spider-Man
Okay.
books. So I've been sharking up on old Spidey there.
Wow, very nice.
So we'll start out with this one, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 113 from October of 1972. Of course, this book features the first appearance of
Dum dum.
Hammerhead, in my opinion, a greatly underappreciated Spidey villain. Now, Amazing Spider-Man 114, the next issue with its great Hammerhead black picture frame cover, is the current darling of the hobby. But I'm here to argue that it's issue 113 right here that is the buy. Look, I know covers are all the rage right now. We mentioned that in our new comic book summit. But collectors don't want to forget about the sound fundamentals of value. Now, a first appearance is still, in my opinion, the most important driver of value in the marketplace. Amazing Spider-Man 113 Hammerhead is actually involved in the plot, so it's not a quick cameo. I believe he makes 3-page appearances, including the mega splash page that sets up the next issue. I also believe that Hammerhead is on the short list as a future movie villain. He's such an obvious candidate in my opinion.
Oh, guaranteed. Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that the cover to this issue is some weak detriment. Far from it, in fact. John Romita
Great cover.
drew up a dandy with my personal favorite Doc Ock front and center.
Nice.
Now, we're slowly but surely getting to the point where every Amazing Spider-Man issue below 150 will be something coveted to own, as collectors are guarding their Spidey runs and are only selling when buyers pony up. CCG graded 9.8 copies of this book can be had for around $1,300 US, with 9.6 copies fetching just over $300 and 9.2 copies at about $250 US. Now, the 9.8s are only at about 40% of the value of a 9.8 issue of issue number 114. And now I know 114 is about twice as scarce, isn't that great? But we have to factor in issue 113 being the first appearance.
Yeah.
Now, as collectors, we all know how active the Spidey villain collecting strain is. Hammerhead is a character whom I believe will soon be called out of the bullpen, and I think he'll play so well that he'll climb Spidey's villain ranks. Now, it's a good looking copy with about 7, 8, 9 small but noticeable spine ticks with color break along the spine. The bottom corner is kind of blunted. Overall, it's something, a solid mid-grade, but I would say 7, 7.5, that kind of a book.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, so it's a solid mid-grade copy. The latest 49th Overstreet price breaks for this book are $41, $76, and $110 US in the 8, 9, and 9.2 grade splits.
Cool. Well, that is a spectacular book, Jose, and a great acquisition. I'm jealous.
Yeah, one of first 3 Spider-Man books I'll be featuring here. I was
Cool.
really sharked up.
Cool book, Jose. Thanks for bringing it in. So next up, we got Big Mike, and you're going to be showing 2 Amazing Spider-Man books as well.
Well, I figure if Jose's going to be basically theming this entire evening on Spideys, and I'm the big Spidey-Man fan, I thought I'd show a couple.
Oh,
Sure.
Not to be
Real quick.
outdone. You're gonna fight back and give me a couple of punches back, are ya?
It's a fisticuff right now. So from August
Okay, so lay it down, buddy.
1969, I was 2 years old when this damn book came out. Number 75. Now I only give it about a 6.0. Paid $22.50 in US dollars. Worth about 51. Yes, you can see that in the store.
So nice grade, yeah.
It looks very presentable. Blah blah blah. Of course, Ramita cover. No massive key
Qualities to it, yeah.
but
Except a very nice cover.
fantastic, iconic cover.
Yeah, I would
let's just
say that. Sure.
Through that, and the next one,
Oh,
Nice.
I know what
better,
this.
a little better up the grade there. 68 now. This is so it was about a year old at this time now.
Yeah,
Again,
issue
about the same
61.
grade. I give these. It was about a 6.0 kind of day.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm getting these from that collector dealer who just
Yeah.
giving away stuff. And 28.12, basically what it converts to, because he actually.
You
I
made
had to
28 bucks, yeah.
No, I actually had to pull out change and give him like quarters
Really?
and dimes and stuff. Like he actually went 50%.
That's
Like
hilarious,
it was
yeah.
hilarious.
Well, the high grade
And I
runs
had
will
to-
run you a few
I
bucks,
guess
that's
he
for
needed
sure.
a coffee. Like he wanted a quarter and a dime and
I mean,
anyway,
look, you're asking dealers to deal on really good under 100 Amazing Spider-Mans
Yeah.
here. They're gonna try to nickel and dime you, man.
Absolutely.
Like, this is
And
where they're
it
making their
literally
money.
Came down to that because we're at a 6.0, you could easily sold for recently 63
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah.
I mean, but this is also the first appearance
that we see,
Of Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy on the cover
Yes.
ever.
Yes.
So that I mean, I just like, are you
Key
kidding
quality
me?
to it, yeah,
Right
yeah.
on. That is so cool. So those are my 2.
Yeah.
Let's see how we do.
Well, your Amazing Spider-Man collection's got to be getting pretty large, Mike, at this point.
I'd love to show the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm jealous on this one. First, Gwen Stacy. I mean,
Yeah.
I personally speaking, I own first Mary Jane Watson on the cover, which I
Yeah.
think is Amazing Spider-Man 59, a book.
Well,
I'll
it's only a
feature.
matter of
I
time
have that
before you
too,
get this. And
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right.
Fantastic books, Mike. Thanks for bringing them in.
Yeah, those
No
are 2
problem.
terrific pickups, man.
Okay, so next up we got Jose with a really nice copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 124. Wow, Jose, that's a spectacular look. That's a pretty high grade if you ask me.
It's a solid copy, yeah, from September of 1973. Of course, you don't get any bonus points for knowing that this key is the first appearance of Man-Wolf.
Nice.
Now, I think the MCU is on the cusp of a new trend in superhero movies, setting the stage for relatively obscure characters to make grand entrances. At San Diego Comic-Con earlier this year, Marvel announced its slate of Phase 4 plans to fandom. Now, 2 of the projects could move the MCU into the horror genre.
Really?
The most obvious of the 2 is the Blade reboot, and the other is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, the son of Daily Bugle editor J. Jonah Jameson, John Jameson, who first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man issue numero uno, was transformed into the Man-Wolf for the very first time in this issue right here. Believe it or not, this turned out to be the most popular version of John Jameson, and he has since made sporadic appearances throughout the Bronze and into the modern ages. Now, considering that Sony is putting out its vampire-centric superhero film Morbius, The Living Vampire, it stands to reason to me that the Man-Wolf could be used there. Who knows whether Man-Wolf will appear on screen, but I personally feel it's worth gambling on the first appearance, especially since it's flying under the radar at the moment of the taping of this segment. Now, at the moment, a CGC graded copy of VF 8.0 of Amazing Spider-Man 124 has a 90-day selling average of only $137 US. Now, that is no money for a key Bronze Age book of this vintage. Now, certainly, I want to say that this is all a pure speculation play on my part, and I haven't read any rumors of the character being brought to life in any capacity.
Yeah.
However, I personally feel it's almost too easy for Sony to use Man-Wolf, especially if the horror-themed superhero genre turns out to be a success. Now, I will say, actually, I forgot to mention the previous book, Amazing Spider-Man, the 113, the first Hammerhead. I paid the same amount for these two books, $50 Canadian, $35 US for each of them.
Sweet.
Both are both actually solid, I would say, mid-grade copies. Again, I would say this is about a fine, very fine 7.75 maybe.
Yeah.
It's a good solid copy. However, there's about a dozen small spine ticks on the spine with color break. There's slight rounding and blunting of the corners, giving it overall, again, 7.75 grade in my opinion.
Yeah.
The latest 49th Overstreet price breaks for this book are $51, $96, and $140 US in the 8, 9, and 9.2 grade splits.
Fantastic book, Jose. Yeah,
love
definitely want to pick this one up for myself at some point in the near future as well.
I love them, but I'm ignoring these and focusing on the old
Runs,
Right,
and these are
yeah.
second of my 3 key issue books. One more to go.
Fantastic, Jose. Thanks for bringing it in.
Hoy hoy.
Okay, so for a treat here, this next book is mine. You know me, I'm always buying that weird stuff. A lot of times the non-superhero type stuff or horror stuff. Well, this one is something I saw at, well, not so much I saw, but I picked up at Sandy's at Retro Rare Collectibles, and he had this, and when I saw it, I absolutely could not refuse. I had to buy it. This is from August 1949, so it's now the oldest book in my collection.
Wow, that vintage, 49.
1949, yeah. So, and obviously called Gangbusters, and it based on a very popular radio show at the time, I guess back in 49.
70
People-
years ago, wow.
Yeah, people were listening to radio more than they were watching TV. But
Wow.
yeah, so I actually had the opportunity to read this book, and what this is basically about is it's a bunch of stories, a bunch of different stories within the book based on American law enforcement at the time. And by what I say, when I say law enforcement, I'm talking about different areas of law enforcement. Like one of the stories is about the FBI, another is about a regular detective working for the police force. And another story is actually about the American Immigration Service busting a ring of criminals that are profiting off bringing illegal aliens into the United States. So they're all areas of law enforcement. And they're actually interesting, kind of cool stories. Gives you kind of a window into how people looked, how people felt felt about things at this time in the American century. And yeah,
And on some themes, there are things that are still resonant today. Most people would agree south of the border immigration is still a big issue for a lot of people.
big issue, yeah. And actually, at the end of one of the stories, it goes, after they've busted the ring of illegal criminals, they say, well, next time these people can come into the country legally. So it's actually kind of relevant to what's going on in the States right now. But
That's crazy.
different times, and it's just fun, just kind of a fun book, something that it was there, and I thought, wow, this is cool. And I love the image on the cover. You got the police officer with the I guess the train engineer. But
Interesting.
considering the high quality of that color image, it's amazing that shot was done. I believe the shot, it actually tells you inside the book when it was done. I think it was American Press around 47, something like that. So just the age of the image and how beautiful it looks, to me, is very appealing as well. So I loved it.
It's still a solid looking book. I mean, it's got where's natural age there along the spine and stuff like that. But the main image, yeah, it's remarkably well preserved for something that's well over 7 decades old. Man, we should all be so lucky and looking that good.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
age.
actually, the point to make is about like an esoteric title like this, and I mentioned in previous kind of investing. Look, you know what? For books of this vintage, if you're looking for the superhero or even the good girl or the horror stuff, you're gonna spend an arm and a leg.
Ooh, yeah.
Look for the kind of stuff that piques your interest, and this is what the kind of book that's gonna add interest and kind of like depth and scope to a collection, because it's not just all one thing. And I guess the point of this might be that Paul's saying that you didn't have to spend an arm and a leg for a 70-year-old book.
No, I think Sandy charged me, I think it was $35 or $40 for it.
So really no money at all. Like,
Yeah.
$25-30 US for a book like 70 years old. I mean, could you
Nothing,
get
yeah.
anything from a more popular collecting strain from that time? Heck
No,
no.
no.
Hell no.
Hell no.
So you didn't have to sell me. You don't have to ask me twice. I love it.
Awesome.
Okay, next we got Mike up, Eagle-Eyed Mike, and he's got 2 detective comic books. And again, real nice. The grade seems pretty damn good. Mike, very nice, very nice. What do you got here?
Yeah, usually I come back from a show and say this is my oldest Action Comics. I thought I'd change it up and come back with my oldest Detective Comics. I have a very small Detective Comics
Collection.
But when I saw this, the first thing that came to my mind before even reading the captions, why are they dressed up like that? Like, why are they mummified? right?
Mummified, yeah.
Anyway, so this is from 1963 October. I give it about a 6.5. I only paid about $22.50. Yeah, fetching about $76 on eBay or whatever right now, or in your local shop if you who don't have competition, whatever. Now the cover that's interesting. It's Sheldon Moldoff and Ira Schnapp.
Yeah.
Both do the cover, but it says it's signed by Bob Kane, but it's not. Ghosting for Bob Kane was Sheldon Moldoff.
Bob Kane signed it, but he had a different artist draw it?
Yeah. Bob Kane had someone else draw some of his stuff for him. I don't know when this started or when it ended,
Well,
but this is one of those books.
All I can add to
love
this,
that.
and that Sheldon Moldoff had a style that was very similar or was homage to kind of Kane. So in that sense, I mean, when you're kind of in that situation, I think it's an easy dynamic to get across that, you know what, you're kind of shadowing or you're kind of doing an homage of a certain style, and that's what that's about. But I think the most important aspect of this book, when you're dealing with, an early kind of like, detective comics of that vintage, I mean, pre-65 books, I mean, if you can get them in any kind of mid-grade or better, you're doing well. I mean, it's cover appeal. Again, for a book, that's, if it's not a key, you have to have cover appeal, and married to that, it has to be in a decent condition. So when you have good cover appeal and a decent grade, and you're paying that kind of money for this detective, wow, I can say, well done, sir.
Oh,
Very nice, yeah.
So what's underneath in the second book
Underneath
is?
is a little newer, but it had the Batmobile on it, and I just had to have it, man. This is number 340 from June 65. I give this about a half grade lower than the first one I showed you.
Still looks like a
Covers-
solid mid-grade copy, yeah.
Yeah.
Three guys are on the cover. Carmine Infantino.
Infantino.
Sorry, Joe Galea and Ira Schnapp again. And basically, I just love that cover too because it's got an early Batmobile on it, and had to have it.
I can see the appeal of it, although if I'm being completely honest from an aesthetic standpoint, I mean, that's a very unappealing shot and angle of the Batmobile. So having said that, it's still a kind of cool detective
And you know what?
comics
And
cover.
the market reflects that because this is only worth about $45. Obviously, it's almost worth half as much as the one I just showed you. But still, I'm happy to have it.
How do you quantify aesthetic appeal, though? That's the thing. Although, having said that, I think the other one is twice the cover of this one. So if you want to just simply say that I like the first book twice as much on an aesthetic standpoint as this one, that's fair enough.
Well, the first one I want to open up and read.
But that's a classic,
find it
great
out.
cover, man. This is a good one, too, though. I will agree. Those are two solid detective pickups, Mike.
Great books, Mike. Thanks for bringing them in. Okay, next up we got Jose. Man, it's been quite the
Amazing Spider-Man run there? Yeah.
Quite a few ASMs tonight, aren't there? And we got a real nice copy of number 265 here, Jose. Wow, was this a TCBS pickup?
Yeah, Toronto Comic Book Show. This is the third of the Amazing Spider-Man keys that I managed to pick up. 3 key books. First appearance of Hammerhead, and then first appearance of Manwolf, and this is Amazing Spider-Man 265 from September of '84. First appearance of Silver Sable.
Nice.
Yeah, Silver Sable. I really like her character, and have been looking to add this book to my collection for a while now. Yes, I know. We all know that there's a ton of these books out there in the wild in various grades. It's a pretty common book print-wise, and that's why I've waited to pull the trigger, as I definitely did not want to pay an overinflated price for her first appearance. Yeah. Now, personally, I found it tough asking dealers for price breaks on any key Spidey issues under $300. They're just not motivated to deal. Yeah, they're looking for that last quarter on the dollar if they can get it.
Absolutely.
Now, Black Cat and Silver Sable will exist in the same Sony movie universe, so there's future crossover potential for both ladies to appear in the movies. Now, they both should appear at some point if Sony really wants a connected universe. After all, that's kind of how the concept of connectivity works.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is a common thread denominator that binds both characters. Having said that, the recent news that just came out is that Sony is basically taking their ball and going home with it. They have pulled Spidey from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they will play with their toy on their own sandbox on that one, boys and
That's
girls.
hilarious.
Now,
Yeah.
is that going to harm in any way the collectability of an Amazing Spider-Man keybook?
Zero. No chance.
No.
Now, this is a pure spec play on my part, as have been the other two books in a way. But I say generally, think of it this way. Is it ever a bad thing to add a key Spidey book to a collection investment-wise?
No. Absolutely not.
Of the three, of course, this is a Copper Age book. It's still like well over 30 years old. This is a nice, tight, and sharp copy with lots of gloss and reflectivity. At least near mint engraved, which is what I'm willing to go as high. I'm never going to say something's a 9.6 or a 9.8, but this is near mint and looks better than near
It's
mint
up
in my
there.
opinion.
Yeah.
And yet, I paid the common denominator of this thing, $50 for this book again.
Again.
About, with the currency exchange, about roughly $35 US. The latest 49th Overstreet price guide breaks for this book are $21, $33, and $45 US in the 8, 9, and 9.2 grade splits.
Yeah, that's great, Jose. I don't think you're leaving with this book tonight. I think this is staying here in my collection.
Yeah. We'll make a trade. You take this. I'll take that sweet Australian Flash Gordon.
No, that's not going to happen.
Nobody's getting out of here alive.
Yeah.
basically.
The only thing that would make this cover better is if she was on the cover. She's not, sadly. But I mean, this is one of those books that a lot of dealers in any kind of decent shape that just tend to really bloat their price on to make a buck. But I held out and I got a really nice near mintish copy for $50. Yeah, I can't go wrong.
You cannot complain there, Jose. You cannot complain. That's a spectacular book. Thanks for bringing it in.
I've decided that I like all your books, so you're not getting out of here alive.
And next up, we got Mike. And this is the one title that I love. I don't care whether the keys or runs. If the book's in reasonably high grade, I'm picking it up. And I absolutely love the X-Men. And this is a spectacular cover, Mike. I absolutely love it.
I agree on that wholeheartedly and every bit because you know what? Actually, it's an interesting way Mike acquired this book, eh?
It was a pre-con pickup I bought from High End Jose.
And Jose, who was going to get rid of it.
He
Well-
gave me a friend price. I must say it was a killer price. He gave
Yes.
me.
What did I give you
Absolutely
to it? For $40 Canadian, right?
killer. No, $60
Oh,
Canadian,
60.
or what it,
$60 Canadian.
$22.50 US would be about 40.
40. Yeah, that's
40.
what
30, 40
40,
bucks,
yeah,
something
yeah.
like
it
that.
was. $40 if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
something
I told you
crazy.
I gave it to you for a song. I mean, I
Oh,
took a
it
lot,
was
but
an absolute
And that is high
song
grade.
and a half.
That is high grade.
I couldn't believe when I got home what the value was.
Look at the white. Look at the white. Look at the top left.
Oh, I have to give this at least a 7, and I'm being very tough.
that's what I graded at. Something approaching
Yeah.
a VF, but not quite there. 7, maybe 7.5. I think
Maybe
you'll
a
find that it's got
7.5.
some non-color break kind of things going on in the cover.
Yeah.
That somebody who pressed it would take that
Probably
completely
take
out.
it out.
there's-
Absolutely.
there's
And
not-
improve the grade on this one.
There's
About a
no
half grade
yellowing
easy.
whatsoever. No yellowing.
That's what I call a white.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's white, and the pages are beautiful inside too.
It's a terrific Neil Adams cover featuring one of the greatest foes of the X-Men, the Sentinels. On top of that, it's one of the last issues before it would go on to reprint hiatus for the next 3.5 years. So you're getting a grade A artist showcasing, in my personal opinion, one of my favorite characters. I mean, with Wolverine and Phoenix, number 3 would be Cyclops. You know, and featuring a great battle cover, and like a Last Stand cover, man. That's a terrific
It's a
Neil Adams
fantastic
book.
cover. And it's got a cameo of Carl Lycos, who becomes Sauron.
Sauron, oh
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
From the
So his cameo
Forgotten
is
Land.
here
Yeah.
because he doesn't become
No,
he doesn't get
yeah.
his powers right away, right?
This is the character that would become Sauron. I know,
yes,
When I
yes.
think of
So-
Sauron, I think of Lord of the Rings.
yeah. He looks like a petrodactyl-looking kind of dude.
yeah, I know, yeah.
Okay.
And so in the next book,
What you
well,
got?
Well, we've shown this.
Just kind of
Ooh.
Mike
recently, but
Paul
it's a
recognizes
little
this book.
I certainly do.
little bit of a higher grade. August 67. Now this size is a shout out to, of course, Uncle Sandy.
Oh,
Retro Rare Collectibles, of course.
what can we say about Sandy, since Sandy was the source both this
So
book,
he sold you yours, and he sold you
Your copy.
mine. He sold,
Your
me, and he
copy,
sold
yeah.
you yours as well, eh?
Yeah. Only
Yeah.
this one's a little bit of a higher grade than yours.
It is
maybe.
higher grade than mine.
Just happy to show it. Carmine Inventarium.
Infantino,
Murray.
yeah.
Sorry, Murray and I'm just trying to run these real
Yeah.
fast stuff.
Paul will
Sorry.
put them up on the
But I would
yeah.
figure this grade is about a 6.
Yeah,
And
it's a solid mid grader.
It's
Yeah.
almost a marble chipping. I call it a little bit of color break, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a very
Well, looking
much
at the black, and it's
there
a
is
tough black cover
base
for
stamp.
this first Flash Superman race, which
Yeah.
is the big key among. There was 3 eventually. I think there was another one recently. I don't know, but this is of the 3. This is the one you want because this is the
It's
first.
the one
race.
everybody wants. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a classic Carmen Infantino
There's
cover.
also-
Yeah.
A first appearance. If you're into locations, I've done this before.
Yeah,
if
key-
you're into locations,
Key first
key
location.
locations,
Yeah.
the first appearance in the DC universe of Afghanistan. Believe it or not, because you know they're racing around the world.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Interesting place to
Iraq
end
and
up, I
Iran
would
had
say.
already appeared in books prior to this.
You know,
but
Mike.
Afghanistan has not. I don't care about that either. But I had to read the book.
I've seen a
just
lot
to
of
see-
I've seen a lot of people show this book on a lot of different
And no one
comic
has
channels,
ever mentioned
and
that.
no one has ever mentioned
that
the first
it is
appearance
on the
of
realm as the
Afghanistan.
first appearance.
I think that's a little bit
of
of a case of gilding the
location.
lily. What do you think?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
I think so. All
right, that's enough, that's enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, I wanted to read it to see, who won. And of course, there's 3 other books, so I'm not going to say anything.
All right, those
There
are
you go.
fantastic books, Mike. And no better way to end your segment tonight than with a key, and a very nice key at that. Thanks for bringing
I
them
would
in.
think you would think so.
Definitely better than Paul's.
Hey, go to hell.
Oh, that's not.
Okay. And for the last book of the evening, Jose is bringing it home. And wow, is he ever bringing it home with a really nice key book, Jose. Wow.
I was just ouch, man. That's a flesh wound, but you're not making out with my Amazing Spider-Man keys, Mike. It's just not happening. and anyways, just to change things up again, let's talk about something other than Amazing Spider-Man. So for my last book, I'm featuring Thor, issue number 337 from November of 1983. Of course, first appearance of Beta Ray Bill.
Nice.
Yeah, rumors. Oh, what can I say about
Rumors.
rumors? Boy, do rumors.
All over YouTube right
Yeah.
now. You know it.
Books move on rumors, period. Okay. Now, well, from what I've seen, the website, we've got this cover reported several months ago that both Beta Ray Bill and Quasar will appear in the 3rd installment of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Now, we've got this covered. In my opinion, it doesn't have the greatest of track records, so they better get on the ball before collectors start to ignore them altogether and they become irrelevant.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I personally hope they're right. Quasar would be pretty cool, as would Beta Ray Bill. Bill is a great character to invest in, but I take the info from a single source site with a grain of salt, or should I say more than a pinch of salt in this case. In any case, speculators have gone into a just complete feeding frenzy, and people are paying like it's a done deal. I'm here to say it's not a done anything, okay? Yeah, slab 9/8 are now up to about $650 US, okay? 9/6
Wow.
are about $3 to $350 US. That's what they're trending at. Now, with a book like this, when you're buying and when it's just, a hot book and there's speculations all over it, all I can say is you watch out for that falling knife if you should mistime your purchase of a book. Now, for this appearance, I guess everybody can see I can't hide. I paid $100 Canadian, which with current exchange rates is something around a little under $75 US. Yeah, the latest 49th Overstreet price breaks for this book are $27, $44, and $60 US in the 899.2 grade splits. Again, I'm going to repeat it so people who are paying these crazy prices hear it. The latest Overstreet guide in the 899.2 are 27, 44, and 60 US, okay? Now, this is a tough white cover. I always have tough time grading white covers overall, but I would say since that there is very small spine ticks along, noticeable basically around the cape, right? I would say this, it could be no more than about a VF 8.0 in grade. Still a decent copy, but it's not a truly high grade. So by that measure though, I still paid 3 times guide for the grade. So guide in this case is of no use price-wise as far as lending me some support to it. Say, all I can say is I don't think I vastly overpaid for this book considering what some people are dropping on it, but I would just caution anybody looking to add this to their collection to be careful how much you pay for it, and if you're buying it raw like most of us do, make sure you keep a keen eye out for that condition, which is all important on this book. Okay, do not pay a big price unless you are certain in grade. That's just my opinion.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Well, that is fantastic, Jose, and I can't think of a better way to end this episode.
Yeah, hoy hoy. It was a fun Toronto comic book show. All the purchases are from various dealers there. It's always a great kind of like appetizer to the main course that is.
And as usual, guys, if you like a comment, if you like what you saw,
leave us some thoughts.
Comments. We will respond. We always do. Sometimes it takes us a couple days or even a week, but we always respond. And we love hearing from you. And we'll see you next time. And what I'm going to do is, before I leave, is I'm going to leave you with just a little bit of footage from the Toronto Fan Expo last month, or more specifically, footage of a poster that I saw that I didn't pick up. This is an original Night of the Living Dead poster, George Romero's original masterpiece, the one that started it all. The price on this poster, again, it's an original. The price on this poster was $1,500, and I know one day I'm just going to regret.
You will live to regret that.
It's the fish that got away.
Not getting it.
It is a poster I've seen selling for $2,000 and $3,000 US, depending on the store you buy it from in the States. It is really a seminal film, but unfortunately I couldn't afford it. But
his wallet did just not stretch that far.
My wallet does not stretch that far, but the poster, probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life, so I thought I'd share it. Anyways, guys, catch you on the next time, and see you next time.
See you in the wild. Hoy hoy.
Especially against my skate, yes.